We have to tear up the free market playbook, and we have to do so, as I said yesterday.
Yeah, 2010's been a pretty amazing year for Canadian activism, and I think particularly here in Vancouver with the Olympics.
Because it's all been reduced to whether window smashing is effective or not. And I think that as a starting point is fundamentally problematic, because this movement is about more than window breaking, and it's also about window breaking.
That momentum certainly carried through to the G20 protests in Toronto. I was there, Harsha was there. I feel like this is the year that the people grew their spines back in Canadian activism. And I think through the steady work of grassroots organizations like No One Is Illegal, that's been building back up, and this year it just kind of exploded. And to me, what's been most amazing is not just that you had like one big demonstration, but that people kept going back and back and back in the streets and defending themselves against the police.
Actually, I'm quite active during the Olympics. It's almost a warm-up for the whole G20 thing.
As far as we know, not a single individual and not a single animal has been harmed in black bloc tactics.
And that this is one moment that escalates this daily reality. I think the two critical pieces around the G20 and the Olympics are the fact that they really center critical grassroots issues. And we saw the same thing around the G20, right? So we're talking about the G20 and austerity measures in a global context, but it brought together grassroots movements in Toronto. So anti-poverty groups like OCAP. I think part of the strength that came in 2010 in both the Olympics and the G20 was the fact that movements had those several years to really strengthen their local organizing and to build massive grassroots bases. Particularly in the context of the G20 and the Olympics, when we're talking about, especially around the G20, police violence and militarization and police brutality and mass arrests. Including de-arresting comrades and the very basic principle of no comrade left behind. That we do not leave people in the police lines and decide to flee, and for that the Black Bloc is deeply courageous. This is a daily reality for people, so it's really important to tie in these moments of mass protest into daily struggle and daily organizing. February 13th was explicitly called as a diversity of tactics. Everyone in the movement knows what a diversity of tactics means, and when you go out on the street, you know what you are engaging in. As far as I know, like I said, as someone who marched on February 13th, unmasked, in solidarity with Black Bloc allies.
And what continues to upset me is the message that this sent to young activists for whom this was their first protest. That this is what happens when you go to express your political beliefs. We need these young people to engage in politics. We don't need to punish them for it.
Oh,